Today I'm going to be going over AMC and GameStop and why I believe they're going to go higher this week. But before I do get into why I believe that, make sure to go down and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because I do update you guys on AMC stock every single day. So after hours, we closed at $4.35, down about 6% on the day. GameStop, on the other hand, was down 20%, hit a low of 1970. They did sell some shares, the company, and I do believe we are set up to go even higher. Back in 2021, the same exact thing freaking happened, and I don't know if you guys believe me or not. I really don't care, but I've been saying on my channel, history repeats itself. None of this is financial advice. It could go lower. It's risky. It's extremely risky, but with great risk comes great reward. And if it does go back down and you bought, or if you bought when it was at 30 or AMC at $6-7, it's diamond hand time. You know, it is back to diamond handing. It doesn't matter how long it freaking takes. At the end of the day, shorts haven't covered, and I do believe they are going to go way higher than what they hit this week. We got a major pump and then a nasty crash, and I do believe it's going to pump even harder this coming week. I mean, all eyes are on AMC and GameStop. All eyes. The short interest is through the freaking roof. We are set up for a short squeeze. We are set up for a freaking short squeeze. So this guy said, how is anyone shorting AMC at $3? 750 million market cap, 840 million in cash, 13 beating earnings expectations in a row. Every bear thesis was burned by CEO Adam. AMC shareholders own 90% of the company. They buy tickets, popcorn, chocolate. They love and support their company for more than 3 years. Hashtag AMC. And then they have this clip of Roaring Kitty back in July 27th of 2020. Let's hear him out.
I don't understand how anyone can be short GameStop at $4. That is really, really risky, really risky. And yet you see a huge short position. I think that's the bigger firms trying to generate some extra income. But I'm like, oh my, I see this. I think, what are you thinking? What are you thinking shorting GameStop at this price point right now? A couple years ago, okay, maybe if it rises again. But right now, what? Whew, you're pricing in like a really apocalyptic scenario for GameStop, which could happen, but I wouldn't feel comfortable betting on that.
I kid you not, a couple weeks ago, I was saying the same exact thing on my channel. How the frick are shorts shorting AMC when it's at $3.30 after the split, trading at its literal all-time low? It doesn't make sense. There's infinite losses when it comes to shorting, and I think they're royally screwed and they better start closing their short positions as soon as possible, because all eyes are on AMC and GameStop and no one wants to miss out on this next squeeze. So Charles Payne snaps at AMC and GME short sellers. Charles Payne went absolutely crazy on short sellers. Let's hear what he had to say.
So this week, Bloomberg wrote a sympathetic article about famed short seller Andrew Left. Now, 2 years ago, the FBI showed up at his home. They seized computers and phones, and since then, Left has gone into a foxhole. He's waiting to learn if the Justice Department and the SEC will bring charges of stock manipulation to him. Meanwhile, the public anxiously is also awaiting the outcome as well, especially retail investors. They went to war against Left and all the other short sellers. And I got to be honest, I've had my beefs with short sellers for over 30 years because I think they have way too much latitude to create way too much havoc in a market that normally either has guardrails or should have guardrails. And I admit I love when they are squeezed because, well, I've seen them do a lot of squeezing with impunity. Arguably, it's all legal, but the tactics that I've seen are unfair, and if not illegal, they certainly should be curbed. Now, there should be no way, in fact, like, for instance, to borrow a stock, more stock than is in the float. And then I got to tell you the other thing. It's these smear campaigns. So yesterday, Left told Benzinga that he should be rewarded for exposing bad companies. This is what he said. He's exposing bad companies. And by the way, he talked about working all night long. I've worked day and night for 3 or 4 decades. I'm serious. So, but what's a bad company? That's what I'm wondering. What is a bad company? Now, if a stock is overvalued, at some point it's going to come down. But that doesn't make it a bad company. Moreover, there should be no need to go on an anti-public relations tour. I mean, right? Think about long-term investors on the buy side. They typically accumulate stock outside of the public. They don't want anyone known they're buying stock. So if a stock is overpriced, the short should be thrilled when the stock moves higher. I call that the inverse Warren Buffett effect. That takes us to the other side of this whole thing, the equation. And that's the media bending over backwards always to help these short sellers. Just take a look at some of these headlines. This is from earlier this year on Carvana. Listen, I understand that people in my business, they want to curry favor with the powerful people on Wall Street because they want them to come on their show. They want them as guests. Oh, we've got the CEO of this and the CEO of that. But in recent years, it's gotten worse. There's actually been scorn from the media against retail, and I think it's absolutely despicable. For instance, I have disliked this stock for ages, and I reiterate that I still dislike it. So this is Jim Cramer, right? I mean, these folks are using these buzzwords like that. By the way, this is in January of this year. You know how much Carvana is up this year? 650%. Listen, I wish Left the best of luck. And I do condemn folks that have made threats of physical harm to him and his family. Although I do also find it ironic that Bloomberg even noted in that article that he wiped his once feared Twitter account. I want you to imagine this. You're the CEO of a struggling company, you've got thousands of employees, and then all of a sudden someone pops up on TV and says that your company is worthless. Yeah, of course, there's room and a role for the shorts to be out there. There's also room for them to be squeezed. In fact, I applaud the work that Hindenburg is doing. By the way, on this note, folks, I want to make sure that Gary Gensler gets his note. MMTLP. Please look into that.
So Charles Payne is really mad at short sellers. This guy said under GME short sellers on Monday.
4, 3, 2, 1, boom!
That is exactly what's going to happen to all these short sellers on Monday. I really do believe so. Andrew Tate tweeted, "Do not lose hope. Yes, they control many things, but they can see the world waking up, and they are very afraid. They are very afraid of what can possibly happen. Now that everyone is looking at AMC and GameStop once again, I mean, everyone. Millions of investors, basically every investor on the planet, has their eyes on GameStop and AMC, but short sellers are afraid. That's all I know. Right now, short sellers are very, very scared." This guy said fake squeeze. Fake squeeze before real squeeze, as prophecy predicted. So we did get a fake squeeze this week. AMC only went to $13 only. $13 was the all-time low for AMC back in 2021. We're barely hitting all-time lows. Its all-time lows are around $1, and we're talking before the split. Now we're back at trading at 40 cents. You know, I think it is the perfect time to load up, not financial advice. I see AMC breaking $20 possibly by the end of this month, and come June, it could go parabolic. You know, it could go parabolic this month. Who knows? Anything could freaking happen. Back in 2021, it was just roaring kitty. Now we have the most Googled person on earth in on this. Now we have John Cena in on this. Now we have Pulte in on this. A bunch of rich people with a big influence, you know, a big following talking about this. And I do think the companies are undervalued still, especially AMC. I think AMC is extremely undervalued, especially after a reverse split, 10 for 1. I see it going back to $40, $50 with ease, and possibly past $100, which is a huge gain. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or hold. And that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, make sure to go down and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, because I do update you guys on AMC stock every single day, and only about 20% of the people watching my videos are actually subscribed. So make sure to go down and subscribe, and let me know if you are bullish for this coming week. In my personal opinion, I am extremely bullish. I don't think I've ever been this bullish ever. I see GameStop going past $60 once again, and I see AMC going past $10 with ease, but that is just my prediction. So make sure to stay tuned on my channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. As y'all know, I'm buying the dip.
Here we go, come on, push it, buying the dip.